Do you live in one of the whitest states in America? The answer might surprise you. Today we're going to break down the top 10 whitest states in the United States, using the most recent census numbers, and reveal 15 things you should know about their history, culture, and why the numbers look the way they do. Some of these states are obvious, but others may catch you off guard. And make sure you stay until the very end, because the number 1 state comes with a twist that most people don't expect. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we break down fascinating facts about US states, demographics, and culture, so you can see America from a new perspective. Now, the United States is known as one of the most diverse countries in the world, but that diversity isn't spread evenly. Some states are melting pots, while others remain overwhelmingly white. We're about to go state by state, starting from number 10 all the way up to number 1, and for each one, I'll explain the percentage, why it's so high, and a few surprising cultural details you might not know. Before we dive in, if you enjoy videos like this, go ahead and hit the like button. It helps get this content out to more people. And if you want more deep dives into US culture and geography, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Number 10. Pennsylvania. Coming in at number 10, we have Pennsylvania, with about 77% of its population identifying as non-Hispanic white. Now, Pennsylvania might surprise you because its two largest cities, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, are fairly diverse. Philadelphia especially has large African American, Latino, and Asian communities. But here's the key: Pennsylvania is a huge state with vast rural areas. Once you leave the urban centers, the demographics shift dramatically. Historically, Pennsylvania was settled by Europeans, particularly Germans, Irish, Italians, and Polish immigrants. You'll still see those roots today in cultural traditions, local foods, and even the accents in different parts of the state. Something important to know is that Pennsylvania is considered a swing state politically, and its demographics are a big part of that story. Urban areas lean more diverse and progressive, while rural areas, which are overwhelmingly white, often lean the other way. Right finger quick question for you if you're watching from Pennsylvania. Do you feel like your hometown reflects this 77% figure? Or is your community more diverse than the numbers suggest? Let me know in the comments. Number 9. West Virginia. At number 9, we have West Virginia, with around 92% of the population identifying as white. This is one of the least diverse states in the country, and much of that comes down to geography and history. West Virginia is part of the Appalachian region, which has historically been more isolated than other areas of the U.S. Fewer immigrant groups settled here compared to coastal states, and even today, it hasn't attracted large waves of newcomers the way other regions have. Culturally, West Virginia has a strong identity tied to coal mining, bluegrass music, and the Appalachian Mountains. That identity is rooted in generations of European settlers, mostly English, Scottish, and Irish. One thing you'll notice if you visit: while the state is overwhelmingly white, it's also one of the poorest states in the country, which affects its ability to attract new populations. Right finger if you've ever driven through or lived in West Virginia. I'd love to know. What stood out most to you about the people and culture there? Number 8. Kentucky. Next up, we've got Kentucky, where about 87% of the population is white. Kentucky is interesting because it sits at a crossroads. It's considered part of the South, but it also borders the Midwest. That mix shows up in the culture and even in the way people identify themselves. Historically, Kentucky saw waves of European settlers, particularly from England, Scotland, and Germany. African Americans also make up a significant minority, especially in cities like Louisville and Lexington. But once again, the rural areas dominate the state's demographic makeup, and those areas remain overwhelmingly white. Something worth noting: Kentucky is famous for bourbon, horse racing, and bluegrass music, all of which tie back to its cultural roots in early European settlement. Right finger if you're watching from Kentucky. Do you feel like your city or town is more diverse than this statistic suggests? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Number 7. Iowa. Number 7 on our list is Iowa, with about 88% white population. Iowa has long been associated with farming and agriculture, and much of its settlement came from German and Scandinavian immigrants. If you travel through small-town Iowa, you'll notice churches, festivals, and even foods that reflect those European roots. In recent decades, Iowa has seen a small but growing immigrant population, especially in meatpacking towns where workers come from Latin America and Africa. But overall, the numbers remain low compared to national averages. Right finger, here's a question. Did you expect Iowa to rank this high? Or did you think of it as more diverse because of its political role in presidential elections? Let me know below. Number 6. Maine. Number 6 is Maine, with around 93% white population. For years, Maine has actually been ranked as the whitest state in America. So why is it so high? Geography plays a huge role. Maine is tucked away in the northeast corner of the U.S., bordering only New Hampshire and Canada. That makes it less accessible for immigrants compared to coastal cities like New York or Boston. Maine's population is also small, just over 1 million people. That means even small demographic shifts can make a big difference, but overall, the state has stayed very white. Culturally, Maine is famous for its lobsters, rugged coastline, and vacationland identity. It's one of the oldest states by median age, which adds another layer. Older populations tend to be less diverse. Right finger if you're from Maine. I'd love to know, do you see signs of change in your communities in the last decade? Number 5. Vermont. Coming in at number 5, we have Vermont, with about 92% white population. Vermont is one of the smallest states in terms of population. Less than 650,000 people total. With a population that small, diversity has historically been limited. Like Maine, Vermont's history is tied to New England traditions and early European settlers. Here's the interesting part. Vermont is known politically as one of the most progressive states in America. Yet demographically, it's one of the least diverse. That combination makes Vermont a fascinating case study in how culture and politics don't always line up neatly with demographics. Right finger if you visited Vermont. Did you notice the demographics? Or were you more distracted by the maple syrup, the skiing, and the mountain views? Number 4. New Hampshire. At number 4, we've got New Hampshire, where about 91% of residents identify as white. New Hampshire shares a lot of similarities with Vermont and Maine: New England heritage, small population, and limited immigration over the last century. Historically, many of its residents descended from English and French Canadian settlers. Despite its lack of diversity, New Hampshire plays an outsized role in politics with its famous first-in-the-nation presidential primary. That gives it national attention every 4 years, even though it's not very representative of the country's diversity as a whole. Right finger now, the next state is interesting because it's nowhere near New England, and yet it's even whiter. Let's take a look. Number 3. North Dakota. Number 3 is North Dakota, with about 90% white population. North Dakota's story is tied to the Northern Plains. Waves of immigrants from Scandinavia and Germany settled here in the 19th and early 20th centuries, and their cultural influence is still strong. Festivals, foods, and even last names in North Dakota often point directly back to those European roots. The state has grown a bit in recent decades thanks to the oil boom, but even with new workers moving in, the overall numbers haven't shifted much. Native American communities make up a notable minority, particularly around reservations, but overall the state remains one of the least diverse. Right finger, have you ever visited North Dakota? Were you surprised by how European the culture feels there? Number 2. Montana. Number 2 on our list is Montana, where about 89% of residents are white. Montana is one of the largest states by land area but one of the least populated. That low population density has kept the state's demographics fairly consistent for a long time. Much like North Dakota, Montana was heavily settled by European immigrants, especially Germans and Scandinavians. Native American reservations also play a big role in Montana's population makeup, but outside of those communities, the state remains overwhelmingly white. Right finger if you're watching from Montana. Let's Let us know in the comments. Does your community reflect this statistic, or do you feel it's starting to shift? Number 1. Idaho. And finally, number 1. Idaho, with about 89% of its population identifying as white. Idaho might not be the first state that comes to mind, but it consistently ranks near the top of the whitest states. Like Montana, Idaho has a mix of wide open rural spaces, a relatively small population, and a history of European settlement. What's interesting is that Idaho has been growing quickly in recent years, with people moving in from California, Washington, and other states. That migration has changed the culture in cities like Boise, but overall, the demographics remain heavily white. Right finger if you're from Idaho. Do you agree with this ranking? How do you feel your community reflects, or doesn't reflect, these numbers? So there you have it, the top 10 whitest states in America, and 15 key insights about their demographics, culture, and history. Let's do a quick recap. Number 10 Pennsylvania 77%, Number 9 West Virginia 92%, Number 8 Kentucky 87%, Number 7 Iowa 88%, Number 6 Maine 93%, Number 5 Vermont 92%, Number 4 New Hampshire 91%, Number 3 North Dakota 90%, Number 2 Montana 89%, Number 1 Idaho 89%. Right finger. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these states surprised you the most? Did your home state make the list? Drop a comment below. I'll be checking and replying to as many as I can. If you found this breakdown interesting, smash that like button. It really helps the channel reach more people. And don't forget to subscribe for more eye-opening explorations of US culture, geography, and demographics. And here's a teaser. In our next video, we'll be flipping this list upside down to explore the most diverse states in America, and trust me, the rankings may surprise you even more.